everybody, it's MK
and Ellen.
Welcome back to MK Quilts and MK Quilts University. We are trying something new today with this whole shop challenge that was Ellen's idea. And we are continuing with our dual streaming setup.
So you could be coming from Facebook or YouTube.
Yes, we hope it's all working. So welcome, depending on what platform that you're catching us on. Thank you so much. Remember to like, share, and subscribe and all those good things. All right, well, we are going to take turns going through our challenge quilts, but I think Ellen has some things she wants to start with.
Yes.
And I am not going to go first. So go ahead, Ellen.
Okay.
Take it away and tell me who. We're going to share microphones, you guys.
Okay, so first is, since it's the beginning of the month, we wanted to do our blocks and our mysteries.
Oh, okay.
Right? So this was the August mini mystery quilt.
Ellen, was this from your leftovers, or was this just stuff you had found around the shop?
What, this fabric? Where did this fabric come from?
Yeah.
Well, let me show you.
Oh.
Look at the beauty of this bundle.
It's so pretty. Very happy fabric.
This is Ruby and Bee blenders. This is Heather Ross. She's one of my favorites.
Okay.
And all, but just really fun, really bright. And this pattern for this month, if you want to hand me the pattern, is the Hazel quilt. And what I wanted to kind of show with this one idea of it being a mini is you can fall in love with a pattern, but you don't have to do the full size. Something we've been learning here at the shop very well.
We've been trying to do more like throw size quilts and such. So we'll look at a pattern and we'll be like, do we have to make that whole like 70 by 90 inch quilt?
No,
we don't.
So very often I will make the baby version so I can have fun making the quilt, play with the fabric. So this is 36 by 36.
Do you want to show the other one?
Exactly, yes.
Well, she did make the bigger version.
I did make the bigger version.
Which is not typical for Ellen.
It is not me. I don't make big quilts very often. This is the twin. This is the full size of the Hazel quilt. And all. Can we see, cameraman? Yes. Okay. And all. This is with Ruby Star Society's woven group from the Ooh Lucky Lucky group. So it's super soft. I used a woven actually even for my neutral background. And it's big and it's beautiful and it's coming home finally.
Do we have kits for this or just do
we have fabric?
We have fabric left.
2 fabric bundles left.
Okay,
and it's actually in your car. So we'll see. We'll see who gets it.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
So that was this month's mini mystery. Now August, believe it or not, has been quite busy, so I don't have one for September because we've been doing a lot of things and a lot of preparing.
Okay, but we didn't bring any of these in my car, and so these are available in shop and online.
In shop, Hazel Quilt, Ruby and Bee blenders.
Okay.
I know, right?
It's so cute.
Now we're gonna do this month's block. All right, Zelda.
That means we're inviting Zelda up. I'm going to give her the microphone, and I'm going to scoot out of here. Okay, it is on. It's not muted.
Okay.
All right, so our block of the month, that again, we're saying of the month loosely, right? We're still remember treating this as a club, yes?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's blocks that they can go together, or you can make something entirely of just the one block into a runner or a quilt. Or
Yeah, whatever you want basically, and they're so nice for using scraps.
Yes.
You know?
All right, let's share yours. What's your quilt block
This
this
is the
month?
block this month. I don't know if it has another name. I just called it a double star because it's got the 2 star colors on there.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's like
kind of
woven.
Yeah, it's
And then
woven
the red.
together. Yep.
Cute.
Yeah, and it's a really easy process. It looks like, well, where would you start? Where would you end? Oh, but the the directions are very simple. So this is a really cool block. And then what I've been doing too with these block of the month is I'll use like one piece of fabric from the previous block so that in the end we have a little bit of cohesiveness.
Oh, okay.
Even though it's all scrappy.
So even though it's still scrappy,
Yeah.
you're pulling something in.
Right, bringing some other fabrics that were used previously.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is Zelda's blog, Zelda's Creation. So it is a PDF download on the website.
Yep.
And then this is our designer block, as we're so calling it, because again, we're buying it from a designer. This is from the Sewing Loft, and this month's block are Sweet Sweet Pumpkins. And again, what's really fun for her patterns is it comes in 2 sizes. You can get it as a 6-inch or 12-inch, all in one pattern.
Yep.
Yeah.
And because October is next month, we get pumpkins.
Yeah, making it fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll, again, it's been quite busy. So we will have a sample of the block, just not yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be in the shop.
Yeah. All right, so those are our new blocks. Thank you, Zelda.
Okay, yeah.
And we will see you next month.
That's right. Okay. Sound for you?
I'm back.
All right, let's talk about our challenge.
Hold, please. I'm not going first, by the way.
I know, you don't have to go first.
Okay, good.
I just said we can talk about it.
Okay. All right, let's talk. We're good at that.
All right, so the group that we went with is called Simply Cozy. It's by Zen Chic for Moda Fabrics. I had this idea just randomly one day where it was, what if we did a shop challenge where we all used the same fabric and made something different? And then I was looking at too, like, but what if we even all used pre-cuts? And all,
Right.
so not even just yardage, of looking at how can you use pre-cuts in different patterns, because they can be very, very useful and helpful, but for whatever reason, people forget they exist.
Yeah. And you know what I think is interesting about the fabric that we chose? I mean, clearly we liked it when we met with the rep.
Yes.
Because here it is in the shop.
Yes.
But I found it kind of interesting that some of the gals mentioned that it wasn't necessarily their favorite until they got into it.
No.
And started like making their project, which I was kind of one of those. I'm like, oh, it's okay. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty and I love my quilt.
No, I'm very, very happy with mine. So through Moda, something we can get are called locales, where we love the collection, but very often there's many, many, many bolts in a collection.
And Paul's behind the camera, and when the reps come, he's like, we don't need many, many, many bolts.
Right.
We could take a few bolts.
Right. So we often get what's called locales, where we get 20 bolts and there's only 10 yards on each bolt instead of like the full 30 or 40 or however many the
Right.
designers created at 15. So it's a little bit easier to bring the collection in for us.
Yes.
And then there's the beauty of the pre-cut, which has the entire collection in the pre-cut.
Yes. Yes.
So what's your favorite pre-cut?
Well, I went with Charm Pack, a Charm Pack quilt, but I wasn't going to go first. So
You're not going first. We're
yeah.
just talking.
Okay. I actually okay. I will say it was hard for me to choose because I like all pre-cuts. I like them all. But I had a very specific quilt I wanted to remake when you mentioned this whole thing. So when you said that, which one are you going to pick, MK? I'm like, I'm going with Charms because the quilt I wanted to do again was charm-based.
Yes.
So that's what I did. Well, how about you, Ellen?
So everyone knows that I love my curvy quilts, right? They're my So Kind of Wonderful, and I really wanted to do something with curves. However, those patterns don't use pre-cuts.
Oh.
So I had a new challenge of, what am I going to do? So I chose layer cake because I feel you can get the most variety out of a layer cake and all that. You can cut it down and strip it and do whatever. And then later I came up with a plan.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, as the rest of my staff comes up to talk about what they love and their quilt, you'll see what they chose. We do have one girl who's a little camera shy, so we're going to talk about her quilt.
Well, she is
for
also
her.
working the floor.
Yes.
So
she is
let's
a
start with
hard
hers.
worker always. All of my staff, they're fantastic.
Okay. So this is Carol's quilt. She chose a nice neutral wide for her backing. And she used a jelly roll.
Jelly roll and yardage.
Yes. So her pattern is from the Fat Quarter Shop, and it's called Jelly Belly Bars, and it's a free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. So you can imagine the actual bars, kind of a framing, that's your actual Jelly Roll strips. And then this stripe was in the collection that we were really happy was in the part that we got. And I swear, that I think the stripe is what makes it. I love how the stripe is going through this background.
Yep, we all loved it, and when it hit the long arm down in the long arm studio, we were like, oh, it's so pretty. And actually Zelda quilted it. She chose the thread and the design and everything, and it's just so pretty. So we will make sure to re-announce all the patterns and if there's any links or anything for downloads or videos or anything.
Yep.
So this one was a freebie from Fat Quarter Shop.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, who wants to go?
Becky? Okay.
Okay. All right, Becky's coming up.
I did not bring my pattern in.
That's okay.
That's okay.
As long as you know what it's called.
I don't even know what it's called. I have no idea.
We have it in the shop.
Do we have it in the shop?
Yeah.
It's one of our.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
it's
one of
in the
ours.
shop.
Go grab it.
Okay, so Becky's, as she's getting wired up here, she didn't bring her pattern with, and she forgot the name. But Zelda reminded us that we have it in the shop,
Yeah.
so Ellen is running for it.
Yeah, good. All right. I actually, when Ellen asked me what my favorite pre-cut was, my favorite pre-cut is actually a layer cake because I think it's so versatile. You can get so many sizes out of it. But when I chose this pattern, the pattern called for a jelly roll. And so I did a jelly roll with this quilt. However, when I made this quilt, I realized that you can use the charm pack, you can use the jelly roll, and you can use a layer cake. You can use
Nice.
any one of those pre-cuts on this quilt.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think that's really good. So here is my quilt, and the name of it is 9-Patch Scrappy Stars. Where do you want to, how do we?
Just like this here, I'll help hold.
Okay. 9-Patch Scrappy Stars. And I chose one of the lighter blue-gray for my background. And the thing I really, really loved about this quilt is that the 9 patches, there's no right or wrong. You choose any 2.5-inch squares, cut from your jelly roll, and put them anywhere. And it all ends up right. I did take the blues, and I used all the blues for this points of my stars. That was the only thing I did have a little bit of control over. I love when they quilted it. They've quilted it because this is a mid-century modern design pattern of fabric pattern. We chose a mid-century modern. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is a perfect design for this quilt.
Yeah, I can see a little
Yeah.
bit better.
And we used a nice gold for it and all that. So, and the other thing I think about when I do stuff like this is a class, because I had actually talked to Zelda and said one of us should do this for a class because it's so good for beginners. And it not only teaches you just freedom in your 9-patch, but it also teaches you how to make an angle and a straight seam meet, how to pin that perfectly and meet almost perfectly every time.
Yes, because we've been talking. We need a new beginner quilt for
Yes.
the fall. So we will add this to our schedule.
Yes, very good.
Awesome. Love it. I
Perfect.
know, I too. The gray she chose for her background with the little like fragment things. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's
Such
really
a great
good.
one.
Yeah, really good. I'm very happy with the quilt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And the
Becky.
pattern doesn't call for a border, but I wanted it just slightly bigger, so I put a border on. So
Nice
versatility.
Yes. Great. Awesome.
Why don't
Okay.
you bring up Zelda next, and I'll, since we're trading off.
Okay.
I can shoot off the table and then zoom it in if necessary as Dr. Haley does, so you're
I'm probably the only one that's going to need you.
I've got overhead stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so I have to say already, she chose the best backing.
Yeah, Ellen's favorite.
Pearl bracelets.
Yeah. Melissa was standing right next to me. We said, this is it.
Pearl bracelets. Love it. Okay. What pre-cut did you use?
I used the layer cake. I thought, well, layer cake, it would go pretty quick because, 10-inch square, you got a lot of fabric. It would be really, really cool. And when you see the pattern, well, I'll tell you more when you see the pattern, how this worked.
right, does it have an up?
It does have an
it does
up.
have an
Yeah,
up.
here's your
Yes,
corner.
That's my corner. Okay.
Okay. This pattern is called layer cake spools because if you can see, we have sewing spools in these blocks. And it was really fun because you take your 2 layer cakes and put them together, and all you have to sew is a diagonal line, which makes your half square triangle on your layer cake, and the way they're flipped, they turn into this. It is so much fun. So that's the one I used, and then the quilting pattern was called Over the Rainbow. I thought it looked kind of like thread, you know, on the quilt with the circles. So that's the quilt pattern that I used.
So yours is a free pattern.
It's a free pattern, also from Fat Quarter Shop.
Those Fat Quarter people.
Yeah. They just have, you know, some nice variety of free stuff.
Yeah. I know. I think it's too. It's just one of those. It's like we have to see you make the block because we understand, but you need to see it.
Yeah, and once you do it, you're like, you're in love with this pattern.
Yeah. And I do like what you did of pairing the colors.
Yeah, originally they had this all like random everywhere, and I couldn't really see the spool shape too much. So what I did was just pair the colors together this way on each block, and that just kind of made it more visually pleasing where you could see the spools.
Yes.
So,
Love
yeah,
it.
it was fun.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you, Zelda. All right. Do you want to go last and I'll go next?
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and mute off camera, and Ellen is going to go next.
All right. So I did a smaller version, so I was able to use some of the yardage for my actual backing. So this is one of the main prints in kind of the fun mustard with it. And I used a layer cake. And again, I had trouble coming up with what I was going to do. So I kept walking and walking around the shop to find something. And then I found something like, we haven't used that yet. So I have done the star quilt. Now, this is a paper-backed pattern, but it is not paper-pieced, if that makes sense. You have paper that you use, but you're not actually sewing on the papers. So this is a pattern from Lori Holt, and you get in your pack 42 stars. Now, I will say, in the beginning, I had all intention of making all 42 stars, but I kind of got tired and I stopped. So it's smaller. Are we down now? Switch, please. Do I need it to face you or face me?
It's upside down there.
To face me.
There you go.
Okay. So you get, and this is an iron-backed fusible. So there's ironing on here, so you can iron it directly to your 10-inch squares. Now, from this, they suggest you do one on every single square. So that's why you get 42 in the pack. However, I was like, why do it on every single one? If you have your set of 3 squares, that these are the ones that I'm going to randomly do together, I could set this onto just one of them and then still do my cutting and then save all of these extras for another quilt. So I thought that was pretty clever. So with this, you have different lines, and you can see they're all different numbered. So you're going to cut all of these stars apart, and then you will start getting a bunch of pieces from it. Now, what becomes fun with it is you start moving them all around. I don't know if that's the right shape. Nope, wait, that one's that one. I'm going to recreate the puzzle with it. So your 3 fabrics get all sorted, so that way you then can create these really fun stars. That goes there, and there, and there. So out of the 3, I'm gonna get actually a 3 blocks, because then I have all these remaining pieces to do the next one and the next one. And then there's specific sewing instructions and things, but if you look closely, these are very wonky blocks, and they're meant to be wonky. So I know a lot of people out there that are very excited that, oh, it's wonky, my points don't have to match. This is the quilt for you.
I love it.
Yeah. So this will be a class in shop as well. Really, really easy, really, really fun little thing that we'll do in the fall. All right, Melissa.
Okay, I have some little step outs as well. So let me get those. And go ahead and grab my quilt for me, would you, Ellen? Yep. All right, so as mentioned, I went with charm packs. Now, I said that I wanted to make this quilt again or remake it. If you were at my home studio where my long arm is, my personal long arm, on the wall that I look at every time I quilt is this quilt, obviously in another color palette. It's in a very dark color palette, Ellen. Those are the colors that I was in many moons ago. Now, it's so interesting because today I was looking for something here in the shop, which I couldn't find initially. And as I was looking through a bucket, I found a stack of squares from the color palette that was my old tried and true, like those Kansas Troubles kind of colors. I found all of these squares in a bucket as I was looking for something else. So this is what I made my blocks from, are these squares that I found. And I'm actually hopping in the car and leaving for retreat this afternoon. And so these probably are just going to be in my car and I'll take them with, and maybe I'll do something with my twister stuff or whatever. But they are already cut from yardage into 5-inch squares. Now, the thing about this quilt that I actually love is, you know, when you're dealing with pre-cuts, sometimes you have those jaggedy edges, how they've cut it, the pinked edges. This block goes together where you don't necessarily have to worry about those pinked edges. Just go ahead and piece it together. Use a scant 1/4 inch because they are going to get trimmed down. And what we're going to be making are 4 patches. Now you're probably like, oh, I can make a 4-patch. Well, yes, you can. But this quilt is called the Katie's quilt. It's a very old, based on a very old video from Missouri Star Quilt Company. It's called Katie's quilt. I don't know, that might be one of Jenny Doan's grandchildren or something. But this is what we're making, all of these 4-patch units, and then a little bit of background, which I chose from the collection, and I just went with a very dark solid for all of my star points, okay? But it's really the 4 patches, which the bigger blocks turn into a 16-patch, I guess it is. But it's all done making 4 patches in a really, really fun way. So that's what I'm going to show you here. There actually is a written pattern from Missouri Star if you wanted to go and get it. But I will tell you, the quilt that's on the wall at my house, I made the entire quilt from watching Jenny's video back in the day. Okay? All right. So what you're going to do if you're starting with a charm pack is just get that charm pack out on, by your sewing station or whatever. Lay it all out so that you can see the colors. And then what you're going to do is start pairing them up. Okay, so just grab one, grab another one that you think has really good contrast. You're going to put them together, right sides together, and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch along 2 sides. Okay, so parallel sides. And I've got 1 or 2 done here. Okay, so you're just going to do that for your entire charm pack. The other thing that I like to do when I'm making a scrappy quilts are a bit harder for me. I think that my quilt ultimately it took 3 charm packs, I want to say. I don't open all of the charm packs. I only open the charm pack as I'm working with that particular pack, because I feel like if I randomize that pack and then I go to the next pack, that's all going to get randomized a totally different way. And then I'm going to the 3rd pack and so on and so forth. I will say with this particular quilt, it is possible to use the entire charm pack if you watch your color placement once you get your 4 patches made. I personally chose to pull out the lights. And so I have a whole nother set of charms that are going to come on retreat with me, and maybe I'll do something else with them. It is a personal decision. You can use the whole charm if you kind of watch your color placement. Okay, so you're going to sew down parallel sides on your whole pack, okay? Then you're going to come out with your ruler. And just make sure that you are cutting the right way. Ask me how I know, because you want to put your ruler down. My seams are going this way. Okay, I started with a 5-inch square, so I'm just going to go to 2.5, and I'm going to cut this apart. Okay, so the whole entire sets now that you have sewn together, you're going to end up with this. Okay, so you're going to have a whole pile of these that are all randomized. Okay, bunches and bunches and bunches of these. Okay, then you're going to start going back to what you've just cut, and you're going to start taking them and kind of pairing them up, watching your contrast and say, maybe that doesn't look good, maybe that looks better. And then you're going to start sewing them back together on the short end. Okay, so end to end to end to end. And what you're going to end up with is something like this. End to end to end to end to end, with all of these little rectangles, really, what you've cut. Okay, and again, I'm just watching as I'm adding a little bit of contrast so that my 4-patch is going to have 4 unique colors. Okay, then you're going to start cutting them apart again. Okay, your very first cut, you're just gonna, pressing, basically I just pressed as I went along what made sense, okay? I wasn't overly attentive to, oh my gosh, it had to be to the dark. Well, some of them weren't because I wanted them to get it opposed. Just press it how you want it, it's not a big deal. Okay, then you're gonna start cutting again, and the first one, you're gonna go ahead and put this on 2.5. The 2.5 cut is actually on the edge, not on the seam, okay? So not on the seam, on the edge. So I'm going 2.5. On the very first cut, you will have a spare. You can obviously save that and use it later. And then you open this up and voila, there's your little 4-patch. Oh my gosh. I actually think that this is the best way of making scrappy 4-patches. Okay, and then you're just going to continue to go down this strip, and you're just going to cut and cut and cut, and they all turn out different. They're all scrappy. Now the thing about them is, because I sewed scant 1/4 inch, if you were using these blocks in a pattern that didn't really matter the size of whatever alternate block you might be using, you could just take these and put them together and just make your block and carry on. But these did have to be trimmed down to 4.5. Okay, so if I look at one of the ones that I made, it's just a little bit over 4.5. So just get yourself a little square up ruler, and if you're really shooting for it needs to be 4.5 unfinished, then you're just going to come down to 2.25, take off 2 sides, whip it around 2.25, then you've got 4.5. Okay, so the whole entire quilt is made from these 4 patches. You got a 4-patch with a star surround and a 16-patch. And the star surrounds are just made from rectangles and snowballing out the rectangles. It is seriously the easiest quilt to make. Just hop on over to Missouri Star on YouTube. It's an older video. It's called Katie's Quilt. There you have it, you guys.
Goodness, you see how many different things you could make with a pre-cut?
Yes. Speaking of pre-cuts, if you're local to us, we still have some seats if you want to come in and do Jelly Roll Day with us.
Yes.
That's in a couple of weekends,
That's
isn't it?
Saturday, July 20th, I believe.
Yep,
July.
and Becky's
September 20th.
Becky is sitting off camera. She's going to lead our Jelly Roll Day that day, Jelly Roll class that day. And of course, if you know anything about MODA, you know that it's been a program of theirs for a very long time. It's basically the 3rd Saturday in September is always focused on a Jelly Roll. So a Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll Day. So let's kind of remind all of our locals about next week.
Okay, so I'm leaving today. Ellen and her mom are leaving tomorrow, and then
Zelda leaves Saturday, I think you said.
yes.
And all. So there's no quilters here next week, but the shop is open. The shop is still open, but there are no quilters next week.
Right. So we're just asking no quilt drops over the next week and a half. Well, this week you can speak to
Zelda's still here. Yes.
Zelda's here. Make an appointment, please. But the following week, no quilt drops because everybody will be gone. Those beautiful handy quilter machines are going to get a little bit of rest.
Yes.
next week. Okay? All right, so we're going to be on retreat. Follow us on social media because we are going up to Coosa Mountain Lodge up in Dahlonega, Georgia. We're going to be doing 3 days of classes. I'm going to be teaching Twister. Ellen's going to be teaching curves, which she loves. And Ellen's mom, Sandy, is a certified stripologist.
Yes.
So she's going to be teaching stripology classes. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to change. Some people are leaving, new people are coming, and then we're going to be on retreat for a week, okay? My sewing time, her sewing time. Now, I'm going to work on shop stuff.
I am not bringing, well, no, that's not true. Okay, I have one quilt that is mine that could be a shop sample.
Okay.
But no, I'm not bringing anything
Well,
shop related. I'm not bringing AccuQuilt.
I am
It's
going
me.
on retreat, but I will be sewing some stuff for the shop, so I don't feel totally guilty about being away for a week. All right, you guys. Well, we will post reminder links, pattern links, video links, and maybe you guys, we could all get a lovely picture with our quilt so that we have
Yes.
a picture of our pre-cut quilt. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll do more stuff like this. It's really fun for us to do this and go and shop. We are a full-service quilt shop online and in person, so thank you for your business. We are Handy Quilter retailers. We sell nationally, so check us out for that if you want a long arm. We got a lot going on here at MK Quilts. All right, thanks, Ellen, for a great idea.
No, this was fun. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do something like it again.
And good job, girls. You all got yours done, too.
I know. I gave them a month, and I'm like, is that enough time? And they all did it.
All right, you guys, thank you. And thank you to Mr. MK, too, who's behind the camera. All right, until next time, from the classroom here at MK Quilts to you. Happy quilting, everybody.
Bye. Okay, you have